What up, y'all? DC Fago Guy. Welcome back to Shadowland Universes, and welcome back to another episode of Shadowland Offerings. It's been a while. Some shit has dropped, some shit has happened. We got some sweet shit to talk about, and we have a big one coming in the next week or so, in the coming days by the time you're probably hearing this. So, had to get on here and talk about what's going on in the Shadowland universes. But as always, going forward, I am no longer by myself. I've got my co-hosts with the most. Introducing first, the one, the only, Robbie from Do It For The Underground.
Hey.
Robbie, how's it going?
Good. Just floating around here in Shadowland, taking in all the content and getting ready for the big one. You know, we'll get to it, but yeah, I mean that's really where my head's at.
Yeah, getting ready for the feast, if you will. And also joining, the one and only homie, Wasteland Waldo, aka Gage. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. Excited to get back in here and talk about all the cool stuff that's been going on, and we're alluding to it, and we'll definitely get there, but big stuff happening, so that's got me all jazzed up and energized again, all excited about everything going on.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. I want to start off by just congratulating you. I know you've got yourself a house now that you're moving into. You've got a lot going on with that. So I just wanted to offer that congratulations to you. I know that's a huge and awesome feeling to have a house like that. So congrats, man.
Yes, thank you. I'm very excited. I can finally put all of my hundreds of Loki masks and such up. I have a nice little spooky basement I can hang stuff in. Pretty excited about that.
Hell yeah.
And I'm also exhausted. Moving sucks, y'all. But it'll be worth it once I'm settled in.
Yeah, moving definitely sucks, but once you get settled in, it's so worth it. So yeah, we've I know previously I had said wasn't sure the frequency of this, and my kind of goal was to have more episodes per release schedule, but it sounds like life has been busy for Gage. I know life has been busy for you, Robbie, and I definitely know that life has been busy for me. When we last left off, though, we had a pretty big release, and I don't know about you guys, but holy fuck, especially with like what's coming, I've been really jumping back into Algorithm a lot, and I don't know, I kind of want to suck that album's nuts again for a minute before we dive into like all the things that have been coming out.
Yeah, I've still listening to Algorithm. I don't know if I had received the cassette version of it yet when we last did this, but turns out that's my preferred listening method of this thing. I think something about the cassette quality kind of I love a high quality audio recording, don't get me wrong, but throwing this specific album on cassette, it makes me feel like it came out in the 80s or something.
Really?
And it is rad.
Wow.
So I've been listening to the cassette version of Algorithm, loving that. More cassettes, please, is what I'm saying to Papa Loke. One thing we I don't think it happened yet last time we talked, speaking of Algorithm, was the demo for Becoming New was posted on the Circle since we last talked, and that gave a really cool insight to kind of, you know, how the album developed. So yeah, still got Algorithm on the brain, still loving it.
Yeah, I know. I'm very curious to see my Apple replay, because I've literally in the last week I've played that album so fucking much.
It's really good, and I've had it in rotation a lot too. Just with everything that's been going on, it feels adjacent to the next big project, and it itself is just so good. It's got such a nice vibe, and it's easy to listen to on repeat. Like I'll probably listen to it like 3 times in a row in one sitting, and it just feels good to just soak through and like imagine like some kind of like sci-fi scene of what like is going on in the lyrics in my head. So I kind of like that Robbie mentioned the like cassette feel. I haven't listened to it. I don't have a cassette player, but I kind of like that with like how the album feels kind of sci-fi, and with the cassette it probably feels even more so like kind of like retro in a way. I think that's really cool. But yeah, it's just such a jam.
You guys got me curious
And,
to hear this cassette version of the album because, like, I've been listening to the digital version. My plan is to grab both versions of the album when I pick up, the new Oracle. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm grabbing a fucking cassette of this or not, or if I'm just gonna stick to CD. But you guys have me curious to hear it in this format.
well, Shadowlandshop.com has got you if you're looking for that cassette, that CD, or otherwise. But DC, I gotta jump in here and say, we've been alluding to it. We've been dancing around it for no goddamn reason outside of show business. But you just mentioned the new Oracle coming. Should we get to that real quick and then kind of work backwards? Because that is the big news I think people are going to want to hear about.
I would say, Robbie, yeah, we could jump into it, but before we do, let's cover some of the little stuff that's come out. I don't want that to seem like little, but I mean, Neculai is so massive that, there's been a handful of singles that have dropped. There's behind the scenes stuff in the circle that has dropped, and I think it's definitely something we can, shoot off real quick. But one last thing that I did want to say real quick about Algorithm, Becoming New has definitely become my favorite song off of the album. It's so fucking beautiful. One thing personal I do kind of want to share that, like I said, things for me have been busy. I've actually got a family member who is terminally ill right now. And so I've had to step in and, help out a lot with, a lot of the fall errands and things like that have to be done to get ready for winter. So I just wanted to send my heart out and offer up my thoughts to Bad Luck and his wife. I know they received some pretty tragic news recently, so it absolutely fucking sucks, and my heart goes out to them. I know that it's definitely not something easy to to have to go through. So thoughts out to Bad Luck and his wife.
Well, and we should mention on that note, there is a GoFundMe circulating to help them out through this obviously horrific time. And we can probably get the link in the description, or we can help people find that. But if you can, do share that, do throw some dollars that way, because that shit's horrific, and everything helps.
Yeah, for sure. But I've got we got a handful of singles, and I'm gonna be completely honest. The singles that have dropped, I've peeped each one of them like one time. I'm just not much of a singles guy, so I'm totally at fault there of not really listening to them and not having a lot to say. Listen to Blackout. I did really like the vibe to that track. It felt like a good follow up to the Chaos version of Algorithm.
And so there's some context there. Blackout is a new Mission Infect song that I believe was originally intended for the kind of the album that didn't really come to fruition last year.
Oh, yes.
It's sort of an upbeat EDM track. It's got low-key dubs. Always great to hear new dubs. It's got Bad Luck and Zero on it. And it's really fun.
Yeah, that was the first single off of what would have been Epidemic, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so it sounds kind of like a nice bridge between Armageddon and the Algorithm remix for sure. It's just a good banger.
Yeah, totally not what I expected from new Mission Infect, when I heard it was on the way. So kind of blew me away a little bit to actually hear the vibe of it and the sound and be like, was this in that supposed album world? Was that going to be a weird one-off track? Was that going to be the sound of the record? It leaves me almost with more questions than answers, but in a way that I like.
Yeah, it kind of
makes me wonder if
it kind of made me feel some of the vibes of some of the tracks for Armageddon as well. So it definitely felt like it was going to be pretty similar to Armageddon in a way. So I like what you're saying there about, like, is it going to be a one-off, or is it going to be like the whole kind of vibe of the album? I feel like maybe it was going to be a mix of things, for sure.
Yeah, and I wonder if like the energy from, I don't know the order of how they made everything, but it makes you wonder if like Epidemic ended up leading into like the direction that at least the Algorithm remixes would be, instead of like the other way around of the remix influencing that track. I wonder if it was those tracks kind of influenced the remixes. Just something to think about, but who knows?
Well, and that Doc Gruesome remix from Release 4 before that, I think Loke's just been on that vibe a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
It feels like that. It's honestly, that's one of the things that's got me anticipating a potential sound to Neculai, but then, the teaser came out and that just took that and shook everything upside down, so.
But then, shortly after Blackout, we had Wrath, a new Batty Bat single.
Yeah, that track rules.
Yeah, for the singles, for me, that's the one. That's got my vote for single of the drop.
Yeah, absolutely. That's got me really excited for more Batty. She's bringing just some real heat that I'm excited for, and I'm looking forward to what comes next after that, because that fucking track bangs so good.
I think we're all huge Fall from Grace fans.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
And so to hear something new kind of in that direction, but with a new flavor to it, it's like almost like witch metal in a way. Like there's some real witchy vibes, and the vocals go super hard. So yeah, I need that next record. I need more Batty in my life.
And they had a really cool shirt drop that I'm pretty sure is still available on Shadowland shop. So go pick that up.
Yeah, it's definitely there. I looked today.
Yeah, she has just some of the sickest merch. Like Loki has really cool imagery, but Batty's really gives him a run for his money sometimes with the stuff that they put out for her specifically.
There's just something about a spooky lady that I think is cool.
Same. I think it's safe to say we're big fans. We're very pro spooky lady, so keep it up.
Yeah.
I gotta go listen to that single again. Like I said, I just have not really peeped out the singles. I'm just such an albums guy, but I decided to pull up this shirt you guys are talking about, and the shit does look really fucking sweet. I remember liking the track a lot for Wrath, but I'm just so sucked into Algorithm that I just haven't really listened to the singles. But I liked what I heard, and it has me excited for definitely some new Batty Bat.
I'm going to tell you this. Make a little playlist. Throw all the singles on. Just listen to them like it's an EP. There you go. No longer have to worry about your single issues.
That's actually something that I did a couple years ago. I made a playlist called Singled Out, and I did that. And I know you're an Apple user, Robbie. They have a new feature on Apple Music that's really fucking sweet, that you can pin albums to the top of your library, and you can do that for playlists. So I definitely need to do that for singles. So yeah, for sure. I'll be out of excuses next time.
Yeah, this is really half of why we have this show, is just to listen to DC's excuses, shit on them, and tell him how to fix his life.
Which honestly is kind of like therapy for me. You can come correct with the facts that I'm missing, and bring the extra tidbits that I'm missing, and then also help correct me in the error of my ways.
That's what we're here
I really
for.
do. Yeah, I hope that every single episode of this somehow turns into an intervention for you.
Yeah.
Last time it was The Circle. This time singles.
Yes. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm somebody who likes to take pages out of people's books and make my own book. So if you've got pages to give me, I'm taking them.
Of time.
DC is making a junk journal of other people's pages.
Yes.
So those are two singles. There's two more.
Yeah. The next one was
Gage. Go ahead.
Oh, it's was it Bullets and Spray Paint was the next one, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm trying
yeah.
to find it right now, but it's not on the Mission Infect Spotify for some reason. Is it just on Loki?
I think it is on Loki's.
Yeah, I think it's like parentheses in Mission Infect is kind of how it's
third listed. Okay.
Yeah, that single.
Yeah.
When I listened to that, I was not expecting that at all. And what I mean by that is I was going into it ready to hear Mission Infect fellas, and it was low key, and I'm not even going to try to remember the name of the guest. Who, say it again?
Yeah, name Fia Fawn, Fia Fawn, Fawn.
Yeah, she killed it though. What kind of raised a question for me, being that this was that was probably loud as shit. It kind of raised a question for me of is this someone potentially joining Mission Infect in the future? You know, it raised that question for me. I don't know about you guys.
That
Yeah, I
would be
didn't really know
cool.
what.
I like.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, you're good.
No, I liked her vibe a lot. I think that, I mean, she spits. Honestly, if she kind of stole the show, I think she would be a good fit.
Yeah, I thought so. So going into it, I had no clue what this was because bullets and spray paint immediately puts me in a Mission Infect headspace. And then when I saw that it was I saw the cover obviously with the fucking gas mask and guns, and was like, okay, what the hell? Who's Fia Fawn? What is this? And then heard the track and was like, okay, so this is just low key, and this lady who's Australian, I think.
Yeah.
Or British, has some accent. That makes me sound like an ignorant as fuck American, but whatever. And
She's got an Australian accent.
yeah, but yeah, I agree. I think she kind of stole the show. I think it was like a really cool, like, hey, and then here's this person track. So, yeah, if this is a, if the floor is open for future Mission Infect releases to have some new faces in there or some kind of revolving door kind of thing, I'm open to it because I think it gave this track a lot of life. So yeah, more of this, please.
Yeah, she's dope, and she did artwork for a hoodie that's on the shop too. That's pretty cute.
Which is the same as the cover, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Really cool art. Cool. Just a cool vibe.
Multi-talented and definitely a good fit. Yeah, I know that Mission Infect's kind of like on pause right now, but I also know that with everything last year, there was kind of a lack of effort from some, and I won't go into any more than just that. But it does make me wonder if there's this thought of restructure in some way, whether that be old ones out, new ones in, or just new ones in to help carry the mantle. It definitely has me excited for what that could potentially lead to down the road, which I'm assuming back burner stuff for sure.
Yeah, or like singles, just like, oh, here's a little one for you. Here's a little something. Like I mean, 3 of the singles are billed as Mission Infect in some way. So like every once in a while, just dropping one would be cool. I'll take
Popping
that.
out. And speaking of that third one, or the third of those 3 that have Mission Infect in the title, the last one is the Load 'em Up the Circle remix, which if you don't know what that is by now, what the Circle is, we've been driving that home, so you've not been listening. But Gage, going on a little bit on what the Circle remix is and what that how that came to be, and some context there. I think you've been in more of those streams than the rest of us.
Yeah, if he's doing one while I'm at work, I try to hop in. So I didn't catch the beginning. I'm pretty sure that people got to vote for what song he was going to remix, and then it was just people in the audience that were in the chat just kind of giving direction. And I caught the second stream where he was kind of polishing it up, and I was just like, God damn, this is really cool. Just like the fact that like the fans get to kind of interact and hang out, but also the song was really cool. Having people like vote on what they want to hear and then take a direction of how he should kind of tune things is cool, and that's what this ends up being. And there's a couple other just straight up beats. I think the Circle has its own Spotify, but it's cool to hear like a full blown. Here's a real like a full on song that we did. Let's take the Circle and we can all work together to remix it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he's doing like occasional, it was a couple times a week. I think it's kind of gone down a little bit, but there's just been a lot of other stuff going on, and that big album coming that we're gonna talk about. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
But he'll jump into. Oh, go aheid.
His keyboard broke. He had to get a new one, so I think that's why it's been less frequent.
I did see that. That's right. But yeah, so he'll do the thing where he'll post on the Circle, hey, going live at this whatever time, and then drop a private YouTube link, and then if you're a member, when that goes live, you jump in there, and it's just usually an overhead shot of his keyboards and stuff, and just working on music, and yeah, just asking what should I do with this, which direction should this go, blah blah blah, and it's a cool thing, and it actually isn't just dicking around. It there's results.
Which is a really cool concept, and I really like that a lot. I like that the people that are watching get to be involved. If I had one critique, I would say that I would love to see those live streams available, even if only for like a limited amount of time before it's privatized. because I'm almost never available when he goes live, so I get to see that he's going live, but I never get to see what's going on. So that part definitely sucks. So if I had one critique, that would be it, is to like make that a little more available to members. But yeah.
And I'm checking right now, are they available on the Circle after the fact? Like, I know, oh, you know what? I actually do remember there was some talk of this, because Batty's video game streams do go up for like VOD on the Circle after the fact, but Loke's are not, because there's unreleased music involved and he doesn't want to potentially have that creep out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's right. He'll just like be going through a folder and just randomly like drop a song that you've never even heard of. Just like play a snippet of it and then just go on about his day. So like catch those streams when you can, because you'll get random stuff that you'll not maybe ever hear again, or little sneak peeks. And then also, if you ask questions and just hang out, you'll get some like tidbits and lore and behind the scenes stuff from the man himself. So it's pretty cool. If you can, definitely check those out when possible.
Yeah, I would love to. It's just I'm never available when the streams are going on.
Yeah, like I said, I can only really catch him when I'm at work and just kind of passively like comment in the chat, but it's cool to do it when possible. So that's the singles, and the remix is very cool. It gives the song a vibe. I think the concept of it is a lot cooler to talk about, but the track's a banger. It's a good remix. And you definitely go check it out and get a little taste of what's going on in the Circle if you're not in there yourself. Very cool.
Well, I know what was some of the drops that they've done? I know there was the Oddworld weekend, and I'll tell you right now, I almost grabbed that variant copy of Love, but I got so conflicted on which one I liked better, the red or the pink.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that kind of like showed its hand with the kind of the anger of the album. There was a Chameleatic shirt that I just still have FOMO I didn't get. It's just the album cover, but it's so fucking cool. And if I wasn't moving, I definitely would have. Yeah, I would have grabbed it. So I mean, hopefully next time Oddworld comes around, that comes back. But who knows? But that was very dope.
I think there was also an alternate version of the kind of Ghostface themed Slash Happy shirt, which, Gage, I know you wanted to touch on Slash Happy a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good way to bridge that. Yeah, I think that one was like purple and green, which is a fan favorite color scheme. But then as far as Slash Happy goes, he does them intermittently. They're very cool. If you haven't seen them, it's basically classic slasher horror movie characters and icons with some cute little titles. Like there's a Jason one, and it's Lake Vibes. They're very colorful and nice. It's kind of cool to get that juxtaposition of like a horror character, but he's got like a classic old style rubber hose design on like a colorful shirt. Recently, I think it was Killer Clowns from Outer Space was a recent one.
Yep.
They did Blood Buds, which was Alien and Predator, which was the one I was hoping for since he dropped the series as a concept. So I snapped that up with the quickness. And that shirt, I get so many compliments on out in the wild. People love that shit. And a lot of them are available on the website right now. Definitely go check those out. At least those two are for sure. The Blood Buds and the Killer Clowns one.
And the Lake Vibes.
Lake Vibes is up.
You mentioned, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why I remembered Lake Vibes. But he did all sorts of stuff. I mean, there's like everything between like Terrifier, Exorcist, and they're usually exclusive, but he'll bring them back from time to time. So definitely grab those. I love it when they come through. Even if like I'm like not a fan of the property, just like the designs are very fun and colorful. So keep your eyes peeled for those when they come out and get the ones that are available. If you get your favorite franchise, like they're so dope.
Which I'm honestly surprised that all the designs are not available right now, being that it's, spooky season. I would say my favorite design for sure is the Scream one, No You Hang Up, and then
Yeah.
In Your Dreams, Freddy Krueger. That one's pretty cool too. Which
I also really like
Freddy
the
Krueger was
Leatherface
always my
one.
favorite.
Yeah, I'm a real Fred head for sure.
Yeah, I got the Ghostface one for my partner because they enjoy that movie mostly because Matthew Lillard is just great. But like they're like, even if you like have people in your life that don't even know what Loki is, they'd like a cool shirt. So if you want to support the man and get somebody else a cool shirt, you know, they make great gifts.
I kind of want to get
Yeah,
the Scream one because I know there's so many like people at work. Like I work in a nursing home and there's a lot of like CNAs, a lot of girls that really like Ghostface, and I don't really know why they like Ghostface so much. So I feel like wearing
Classic
that
movie.
shirt would be something where they're like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt. Where'd you get it?" And I could like throw some extra sales Loke's way.
Conversation starter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing that's been rolling out that I've been enjoying on the circle is the behind the scenes footage from the music videos.
Yeah.
They've put up footage, you know, all the way back to Together from Shadowland to, I think the most recent one was Lies, Batty Bats video, and there's Godzilla. Are there other ones? I'm looking right now. Gutta, Nasty, a bunch of like really cool, just like kind of the, not B-roll footage, but just the cutting room floor stuff, alternate takes, you know, people fucking up and laughing and, you know, giving direction, like Loke behind the camera, kind of directing what to do. Really cool kind of behind the scenes glimpse at just kind of what music and video making on that level is like, and I've enjoyed those quite a bit.
Oh, I love behind the scenes stuff. And the only one out of the ones that you've listed that I've seen is primarily the Godzilla one. Because, you know, late August, early September, I went full, whatever the equivalent is for low-key fans of a Juff. I went full Juff and let my membership expire for a while. So I did miss out on behind the scenes stuff. But the one for Godzilla, I really loved. That was really cool to see. It was really funny to see. I love when Crux One was talking about the prop. Do not drink the prop. That shit was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, those have been cool. But I think, I mean, really, we're crawling our way there. But I think what we really want to talk about today is the goddamn oracles, especially the new one.
Yes, the feeding of Neculai.
They come here broken, thinking their suffering makes them special. Down here, every wound looks the same, and the void doesn't care what you've survived, only what you're willing to feed it. Only what you're willing to feed. Me.
And
That is, so I guess let's reel it back. I want to. We're gonna tease this to the point that we don't even talk about it in the episode, I think. But let's. We got you almost there. We're reeling you back. We're teasing you a little bit more. For those that don't know, because people don't know, you know, not everyone came. You know, some people came to Loki recently. Some people are fair weather fans and don't know about everything. You know, there's always someone's got to learn something all the time. So, what are the oracles? How many are there? How many will there be? You know, what the fuck is this?
Well, Gage, I will let you take it from here because you are definitely like the resident expert when it comes to this because you've been following along the longest. So I'll let you take the lead on this.
yeah, I think I talked about it last episode, maybe. I don't remember, but I got lucky enough to be there kind of for the beginning. I even have a Shadowland promo that's signed somewhere, but like I said, it's moved, so I have no idea where it is. But there are 12 oracles, and they're actually first mentioned on Chameleatic on the last track. There's a line, "Make way for the 12 oracles." And they are kind of Loki's... There's babies. they're his like, this is his life's work type of thing that I've heard it described as, and it's a journey through Shadowland, which was the first Oracle that kind of started us there, and they're very experimental albums. Each one's kind of got a different vibe, and each one is represented by a different figure or character or concept. Like Shadowland is where it all kind of starts, and I believe the main inspiration for it is Loki having sleep paralysis. So shadow people and dreams are like so core to the story and the concepts and where I believe a lot of the songs come from. And if you're, new or you're trying to understand it, they're kind of the equivalent to ICP's Joker cards, right? Yeah. There's this set many, each one is represented by a character and has kind of a story and a theme to it. And you can kind of interpret it how you want, or it's just a collection of bangers, just depending on how deep you want to go into it. But I would say that the Joker cards are the best analog if you're trying to figure out what it is in the simplest terms.
Yeah, it's definitely the easiest way to explain it to somebody.
I think something I want to hone in on too, though, is you mentioned it being kind of experimental musically, and I think a lot of people abstractly or just kind of who know Loki and his music on a surface level would describe him as like a horrorcore rapper, which is true, but also many other things are true in that situation. And the Oracles, I think, are really where his musical creativity kind of shines the hardest. Shadowland, I'd say, is the most directly close to horrorcore rap. It's got the most rapping of any Oracle. It's got horrorcore themes. There's those kind of violent subject matter, whatever. Yeah, and then you go to the Book of Time, and it's like different instrumentation, sort of like Eastern influences and industrial stuff and rock, and very, very little rapping, but just these spacious soundscapes. And you got songs on Book of Time like Bleed is one of my favorites, where it'll just almost be like a hypnotizing repeated chorus over just constantly ebbing and flowing music, and completely left field. I think when that came out, I don't think he had ever touched anything like that musically previous. The next one, The Blood of Izu, is like way more metal with some industrial stuff and like maybe a hint of rapping, but it's pretty much just like as metal as Loki's ever gone. Then Parasuva, The Eyes of Parasuva, the next one was more in the Book of Time world, but a little bit more progressive songwriting wise, a little bit more like structured in a classic pop songwriting style. And then that also came with a bonus set of the same songs done acoustic on a guitar and piano. So if you were like, oh, I know what Loki does. He does Let's Get Violent. He does Love, blah blah blah. Like the Oracle albums are really where he shines as a out of the box creative musician. And that's a little something to take home with you.
Yeah, and I think there are some fans of Loki that, because they're so clung kind of to that horrorcore that he does, if you're somebody who likes experimental stuff and you've checked out Loki and you're like, oh, he's just another horrorcore rapper, there's more out there that you haven't found yet, and there's definitely something there for you in any of the Oracles.
And I think that the Oracles still have a very strong element of horror in them, especially I would say the first three especially, and that storytelling that people enjoy, but it's elevated, or I don't want to say high concept, feels pretentious maybe, but it's not, oh, bloody kill you, murder you. It's oh, I'm trapped in non-Euclidean nightmare space and there's shadow people watching me and I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. But it's not presented as rap, but there's still that core of this is kind of scary and creepy when you really think about it. Like, I mean, Aizu's a big, giant Lovecraftian monster, for fuck's sake. Like, it's still there, but it's definitely, like, so if you like scary stuff and you're open-minded, they're definitely worth just kind of laying in a dark room and listen to it, and it'll spook you if you let it. If you're open to it.
Yeah, if you think of, say, Let's Get Violent or The House or something like that as like a slasher flick, this is more like not quite sci-fi, but kind of like you said, like Lovecraftian. Like there's still horror theming, but it's not.
It's surreal.
It's a little bit, yeah, and to be pretentious about it, it's a little bit more high level. Like it's a little bit more, it's instead of saying like I'm gonna cut you, I'm gonna stab you or whatever. These are lyrics lifted right out of Loki's catalog. Instead of that kind of thing, it's like you said, it's more like conceptual and like, oh, there's this Lovecraftian sea monster, and like, what are we gonna do about this? That kind. It's not as slash and cut, horrorcore, but there is still darkness and horror elements for sure.
Absolutely. And actually, anytime that I like having to drive somewhere early and it's dark out, Shadowland is such a fun album to listen to in the dark.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you like weed at all, I would say smoke some and put on like the Book of Time and read the lyrics and sit there and zone out to it. Great stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely, or even get a little tipsy and like sit in the dark. Like I've definitely listened to, I think, Isu and Parasuva while under the influence, and it's an experience for sure. And they've just all got their own different vibe. Like Shadowland's definitely the most like that bridge between horrorcore and like different genres, and then Book of Time has like more of like a bassy, strange energy to it. Isu feels very angry and like a very bleak, pissed off album. And then Parasuva is very mellow and like kind of bittersweet and like sad but hopeful. Like they all have such different vibes too.
They do. And that's what I love about them, is definitely Shadowland. When I listen to it, like you said, it's like that bridge of horrorcore into what the Oracles will be. It feels the most where you can tell he's playing around with what he wants to do with the series. By Book of Time, he's dialed it in and honed in, okay, I want them to be like this. And then by Blood of Izu, you've got, okay, we're going to go right this time and go full metal with, one song, Forsaken, is like straight up a fucking rap song. And then you leave that and you go back to the left, but further left to this like kind of soft vibe with Eyes of Parasuva. It's great. And perhaps my favorite way to listen to the Oracles is in a playlist, because they do feed into each other.
Yeah, if you've got the time to run them all front to back, go nuts.
Well, I mean, just the four that exist right now, which I'm saying this at the time that there's only four, it's 2 hours and 46 minutes to listen to all four right now. If you're not including the alternate version of Book of Time, if you're not including the unchained mixes of Parasuva, if you're just listening to the main album, it's 2 hours and 46 minutes, which is, it's perfect. It flies by, especially if you're getting invested into kind of feeling out where the albums are taking you. If you're kind of feeling out where this journey is going, it flies by.
Yeah, and it does feel like a journey. Like they build on top of each other extremely well.
They do. And one of the first times that I listened to all of them in a row, I quickly realized that the end of Far Away feeds into Book of Time. The end of Forever feeds into Blood of Izu. And I'm like, whoa. Like when he set out to record these, like, especially when you look at Book of Time recorded in 2014 and Blood of Izu at the beginning of 2020, like he kept in mind that he wanted them to lead into each other. And that is such an amazing little detail that makes them so cohesive.
Totally. And then, so, I mean, the reason we're here, more or less, we got the fifth one coming up. I mean, by the time you hear this, it could be out. It could be out tomorrow. It could be out in 2 days. So it has been announced that it will start out as a Circle exclusive. So Halloween night, when the 31st of October turns into the 1st of November, midnight, midnight on Halloween, but not midnight that makes Halloween. You know what I mean? I don't know. Time's confusing.
That makes sense.
That it's going right up on the Circle at midnight. It is called the Feeding of Neculai. Thus far, for Circle users, members, we've got a sneak preview, little teaser trailer, a little 37-second trailer where we hear from Neculai himself, and a track list, which, I mean, I feel like we shouldn't spoil. I mean, if you want it, you know where to get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to check this out, you should definitely get into the Circle.
Because it's not been announced any social media or anything else. I mean, like, the album's been announced, but none of this content, none of this, the trailer, the track list, all that still is just only on the Circle. So I don't think we should be the ones to spoil that. Let that cat out of the bag. But if you want to see it for yourself, you know where to find it.
I think the only thing that I will say about the tracks is that most I'm going to say is it's 10 tracks, which really follows the formula. Shadowland had 10 tracks. Book of Time, Blood of Izu, and Eyes of Parasuva all had 9. So it's right in the same, fitting for the rest of them.
The trailer was very cool, and it starts out how it was just very cool and atmospheric. Which all the oracles have great atmosphere, and I was just like, ooh, okay. There's like a creepy little bit of music, sounds cool. There's that guy who, there's this voice that pops up at the beginning of Book of Time, and there's like different characters and samples and stuff that pop up throughout the oracles, but there's this one consistent voice that we didn't know what it was or had a name for it, and we learn more about the voice in a very exciting way that just ties everything together even further, that like answered many questions, but also opened up more questions in a very exciting way that has me even more stoked for the album than I already was. So it's just awesome how everything has threads that run through it, and it's so fucking cool. The trailer gave me chills.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, it seems like, and not that, I wouldn't say going into the oracles like as music, I consider them necessarily like mysteries necessarily. But there are things that are sort of unknown, or things that are sort of never fully explained. And I think that's kind of what makes them fun to return to again and again, is you're kind of coming up with some of it on your own. You're helping shape the way you see these albums. And but as much as I don't think of them as like mysteries, quote unquote, there are elements that are a little bit mysterious and like, oh, who's this narrator, what's going on here, blah blah blah. And I think this trailer kind of solved one of those mysteries for me a little bit, while also leaving me with more questions, like you said. So I think that's got me really excited for the new record.
Yeah, for sure. Because like you're saying, and not so much that they're a mystery, but they are all pieces to one big puzzle. And so with return listens, it's kind of like you're picking up things, that you didn't maybe the first time. Like, I remember the first few times I listened to Shadowland, I completely missed that in Follow Me, you get Blood of Izu and Eyes of Parasuva name dropped so quickly in the very first oracle. So you kind of sit with that, and then it's, years before they ever even come out. So, if you're someone like Gage who was listening to Shadowland when it first dropped, you hear that, you don't think much of it. But then suddenly you have Blood of Izu and Eyes of Parasuva come out, and you go back, you re-listen to Follow Me, and you're like, oh fuck, he name dropped these back in 2011. And so now
that blew my fucking mind.
With this new teaser trailer and the fact that you have this voice, it's the same voice that's in the intro for Book of Time. It's in the same intro, or it's in the intro for Eyes of Parasuva. You also get it in Book of Time at the end of My Dark Empire and at the end of Halls of the Lonely. And now we have a name for it. And kind of the question for me that I always had in my own head was, in Book of Time, this narrative voice, I always kind of referred to it and thought of it as like this spirit guide who's trying to guide you through Shadowland. you know, at the end of My Dark Empire and at the end of Halls of Lonely, he's talking about how he's just an existent thought, and once you realize that he's just a thought, you're gonna banish him, and then he's just gonna disappear. But then we get him back in Eyes of Parasuva, and he's presenting us with Eyes of Parasuva. And I mean, you could look at that little intro and be like, okay, this doesn't necessarily mean that this guide is back, or is he? And I think with Neculai, this kind of reconfirms it that, yeah, maybe in Book of Time when he says that you're going to banish me out of the nothing from which you made me, like, he's still going to be there. And I think Neculai kind of confirms that this being now, which we now know is Neculai, is always there with us. So what is the role that Neculai plays in Shadowland? Is kind of what I'm going to be trying to listen for and pick up on when I listen to the album.
I like how it also ties back to like themes of dreams, like, oh, I'm here, and when you recognize that I'm here as a thought, like, you can, you know, I'll go away, as like when you acknowledge that thought, it just all reconnects to like the themes of dreams, the thought of like it coming from nothing, something out of nothing. Hey, shout out that guy. It just all, when you pay attention to the details, it all connects.
I mean, DC said it, you know, that maybe this is the voice of Neculai himself. But as we talked about earlier, each of these records has sort of an emotional core, be that Aizu's anger, Parasuva's kind of sad hopefulness. If this character has been kind of narrating us on this journey thus far, what will the core mood, what will the atmosphere, the vibe, the core emotion of that project be? You know, like, what is the narrator's emotion, I guess, is like an interesting thing to try to speculate about, as this, you know, we haven't heard a note of music off this thing as far as I know. So, like, it could be all piano ballads. It could be, you know, 90s boom bap rap. I don't think that'll be the case, but you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting to go like, okay, well, this guy's maybe been with us longer than we knew. What's his vibe?
Yeah,
I kind of feel like this isn't really confirmed that it's music from the album, but at the very end of that teaser, when you had the title come up, The Feeding of Neculai, and the release date, you have this like sitar that's being played, and it immediately just made me think of Eyes of Parasuva because of the very last track on that album having that sitar on right. So it made me really feel like, and again, the other oracles feed into each other, I'm wondering if that sitar at the end of the teaser is going to be part of the intro for The Feeding of Neculai, and that's going to help tie everything together in a way that, whether it's going to be in a similar atmosphere as Eyes of Parasuva or not, it definitely that was definitely something I picked up on, was that, and I was like, oh fuck, like that's one of the things that really gave me chills. I was like, okay, yes, this is definitely going to connect to Parasuva with just that sitar, whether it's part of just the teaser and not even part of the album. Like, it immediately just made me do that.
I kind of wonder if the trailer will be the intro. I mean, that would be such a cool thing. And we're talking about, we believe this voice is Neculai, to have that intro and he's just talking about a character, oh, Blood of Isu, or Book of Time this, and Parasuva this, here's what's going on, and then he refers to himself. Like, that's so fucking cool. So I kind of wonder if the actual like trailer will be worked into the album itself.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being an intro. I would not be surprised. I feel like, I mean, because similar things have happened in the past where, like, the music video for Transition, the Book of Time intro dropped, I think, right before the album did, things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was kind of a sneaky way of doing the same thing.
Yeah, and we're talking about the story a lot, and Robbie, you were kind of talking about the music, but that's why we're here, and I'm very excited to see like where he goes with it, because every single oracle has just been like, holy fuck, I was not ready for that at all. And as is the case with Loki in general, but oracles especially, it's just, I never quite know where we're going, and it's so exciting.
Totally. And the fact that this one is a Halloween drop, I love, because to my, correct me if I'm wrong, but Shadowland and Book of Time were both Halloween drops, and then I don't think either of the 2020 ones were, right? I think Izu came out early in the year.
Yeah, Blood of Izu was January, and Eyes of Parasuva was late November.
Yeah. So I like that this kind of takes me back to those first two, where it's like, no, this is a Halloween night drop, which I mean goes back to even like the House series, you know. So classic time for a Loki record to drop.
Yeah. I mean, I'm after I'm done taking my kids trick or treating, we get settled down, they go to bed. I'm definitely planning on sitting in a dark room and listening to this at midnight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I mean, we haven't even seen, you know, like I can't wait to see the album cover, how the character is personified. We see a little bit of it, you know, in the trailer, but I want to see the, you know,
yeah, it's as exciting as a Joker card reveal. Like, ooh, what is this guy gonna be? Like, what's his deal? It's like, I love that. It's so exciting.
Dare I say, for me, more exciting than the Joker card. Which, I mean, we're all juggalos here, and I love the Joker cards. But, you know, with the second set, there were so many of them that when they dropped, you're just kind of like over-analyzing, like, huh? Like, what? But I don't feel like that's how it's going to be with this Oracle. Because all of the Oracles are such badass images, you know?
Well, and I don't even typically look at them and think like you brought up, you know, the overanalyzation that happens, and I think to talk Joker card for a minute, we saw so much of that with the Knot just now, where the minute that image dropped, people either loved it or hated it and had a bunch of opinions and like kind of forgot that an album was attached, I think, and just wanted to really zero in on discussing an image, which is all fine and good, but like I think similar to like what we were saying about the musical palettes and the different moods and energies of these records, the images that are the covers, that are the oracles themselves, I think I don't ever look at them and go like, do I like this? Or like thumbs up, thumbs down, or anything like that. It's just, oh, okay, this is what this one is, you know? And I think maybe that just speaks to the quality across the board, that they're all high quality, so I don't have space to go like, this sucks or whatever, but like I'm never going like, okay, we got somebody sitting here with a leg crossed on a throne with some bodies floating around. I'm like, what? I don't overly analyze that, I guess. I just take that into the music with me and go like, oh, I see what's going on here. Okay, this is like it's more contextual than anything in a lot of ways, while also just being really cool art.
Yeah, then that's more what they are to me, is they are art. Like, I don't think there's so much like trying to capture the Oracle, the entity itself. It's just more of a piece of art to kind of set a theme. And that's kind of how I look at them now.
They're very evocative. Yeah, they have a vibe that the music really encapsulates really well. And actually the artist that did Izu and Parasuba has done work with like Magic the Gathering and stuff. I found them on Instagram. I don't know how to pronounce their name, but it's is.nino, and they do really cool shit. And I kind of hope that they do the next one too, like that they do Neculai. I'm excited to see just what the next one looks like, but if it's also the same artist who's he knows the oracles, like he's got the art down really well, like he understands the assignment.
Yeah, I'd be curious if it's that same artist or if it's someone else doing a similar style, or I mean, just a lot of questions, you know what I mean? There's a lot to ponder as we approach this.
Absolutely. And honestly, I guess I never really made the connection that the Blood of Izu and Eyes of Parasuva artwork really is done by somebody different than Shadowland and Book of Time. I think I just feel so connected to the whole series that I just didn't even really kind of pick up that maybe they were done by different artists, and that's just, again, another level of cohesiveness that they all have.
Yeah, they share a mood for sure.
I sent you the artist page on Instagram, DC.
Okay. I feel like I've been sent it before, but I'm definitely gonna go follow it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, unless we've got more Oracle thoughts or predictions. Well, I mean, yeah, musically, I guess how could we even predict? You know,
right.
um,
Well, I mean, like when I look at the track list, I definitely like have, you know, I like the spec. I'm a speculator, so I like to go in and speculate what some of these songs might lead to. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna wait for the music to start putting all the pieces together. I guess the one thing I will say that I was kind of, I don't want to say disappointed, because I'm not disappointed because we're so fucking close. I can wait. But I guess I was halfway expecting there to be the cover reveal, the art reveal for the Feeding of Neculai. So, but seeing that teaser and seeing the end definitely has me curious if it'll be the person we see, Neculai, at the end, and what more will entail to everything.
well, I mean, you said you're a speculator. As a speculator, you've seen this trailer, you've seen this track list, without, you know, like just running down the names of the tracks or whatever. What does it give you? What do you speculate? We can come back on the next episode and either roast your ass or go, pretty good.
Kind of looking at everything, it feels like, so taking from the trailer itself and the fact that it kind of talks about they come to us broken, and it's like not about what you've been through, it's what you feed the void. Yeah, this definitely feels like something that's going to be self-reflective and has something to do with the Neculai being something that feeds off of your own self-loathing, maybe, or something along those lines. That's kind of where my head is immediately, is just something that has to do with self-reflection, for sure.
I like that, because conceptually there would be, you know, we are all feeding our own Neculai, you know, like with our own what we have inside of us, basically, whether that's, like you said, self-loathing or self-love or anything, you know, like what you put into it is kind of how you see it reflected. Yeah,
definitely makes me think of like a mental state, for sure, and how much you feed it or what you feed it. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah, I'm ready. All right.
Yeah, this is no, I was just gonna say that I'm very excited for this, and we've been so fucking spoiled this year. Like, everything that there is to enjoy about Low-Key, we're getting it. You like your horrorcore? Boom, you got that in Love. You want just a little bit of everything. Release 4 got us there. Algorithm, something completely new, and then wrapping it up with his cream of the crop, the Big Daddy Oracle on its way. Like, what a fucking year to be a Loki fan.
I mean, not to mention the circle, like, you know, this starts to sound like a commercial at spots, which is super not intentional. It just, like, is the place to get this stuff. And, like, I don't, you know, I mean, I've been following Loki for a while now, and there's never been a time where I'm like, oh, every day I will receive at least an update. You know what I mean? It's not like, and more often than that, it's a new or an old, you know, Batty Bat photo shoot, some behind the scenes of pressing merch, some mask painting, some, you know, whatever. There's something new every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And, like, I don't feel like we've ever been this tapped in with the day-to-day of the Shadowland universe, for lack of a better term. So I think that is really fucking cool. This has been a crazy year for Low-Key.
And definitely one of the best times to be a Low-Key fan, because with the circle, you get a lot of involvement. And when, I mean, fuck, even when I discovered Loki and started to dive in, he was such an enigma. And I know Gage has expressed, and even you, Robbie, have expressed when you discovered him, just how much of a mystery he was. And we are kind of like, if you're just now getting into Loki this year, you came at a perfect time, because you've never been able to see as much as you're seeing now.
Totally. And on that level, we talked last time about the Shadowland history videos that I've been doing. Um, the solo videos up that got put up a little bit ago, and we're in talks to get the next couple out. So yeah, Jackie Beats 2 and House 2 are, we're discussing when to interview those and all that, so that's all coming. It's not the game. The ride ain't over. If it's been a crazy year, I don't think it's going to stop being a crazy year, when the calendar flips. So stay tuned.
Definitely.
And I think I'm going to just pitch this on the fly. The audience can hear it be pitched. But this is the speculation episode. I think we got to come back for, the review in a couple weeks.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're at least getting our thoughts on this record soon. We it's not going to be another month or two before we do another one of these. We're going to come back and talk all about Neculai, all about just how right or wrong we were in our speculations, and how I mean, no matter what we speculated, there's going to be a lot of surprises. That's how these records work.
Absolutely. That's how any album,
can't wait
any
to come
good
back
album
and
works.
discuss it with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know
I'm very excited.
If you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about, if we want to go ahead and wrap her up for this edition.
I'm ready to wrap. Yeah, I think we got ourselves all hot and bothered about this fucking record, and now I think we just gotta wait the week out to get it.
Yeah, go rub one out and then be ready for the album.
Yeah.
Got ourselves all hot and bothered. Well,
I don't think that's what he meant by Jack and Beats, but all right.
Jack 2 Beats.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
definitely.
Jack 2 Beats in Yo House. All over the floor.
I think on that note, we probably better wrap her up and head out of here. Robbie, Gage, thank you guys for joining me once again, and I definitely look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on the album.
Yeah, I'm excited. I just realized I have one more thought. I don't think that we've all been like homies when an Oracle drop. This will be the first one we all get to experience together at the same time, right?
It will, yes.
Yeah, I didn't know either of you guys. I knew of DC, but I didn't know either of you guys personally whatsoever when Parasuba dropped at all. So
yeah, it's very exciting.
It's our love of Loki that brought us together, so this will definitely be a magical time, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys again for joining me, and thank you to everybody who is listening to this. Make sure you drop your thoughts down below. Tell us what you guys think about the feeding of Neculai. What are some of your speculations that you guys have? And what have been some of your favorite drops that have dropped since the last episode of Shadowland Offerings? Thank you guys again for joining us, and we will see you guys, or rather, you guys will hear us next time. Peace.